the back of, Rogue strats, the back of their hands, that kind of thing. Look at a team like Disrupt Gaming, DG. They might not play in the same league as Rogue or Evil Geniuses or Mouse, but they've played each other enough and have players that have been around enough that they likely know that style of play, and that is going to aid them. I don't know if you can say the same thing about Nomads in terms of past experiences playing against them.
Well, as the operator bans come out, Ying and Lion gone. Sensible bans, for sure. Especially considering what happened with Ying in that previous matchup. Rogue only had the one attack round, but it certainly worked. Interesting also because I believe Nomads was using Ying quite a lot, and here they are banning her. Now, Mira, the first defender gone, and we will see Nomads get the last defensive ban. Last time they banned Valkyrie, will they do it again is the question. No, it's going to be Pulse, so they're still clamping down on the information. They don't want to deal with C4 from below, but there will be other options for the defense, namely Valkyrie, if they want to try to blow up anybody from underneath.
Reason why they banned the Ying, I would assume, is yes, they did have a Ying played for them, is that before Nomads can attack, they have to go through 5 rounds of Rogue.
Yeah.
And we know that Rogue runs a Ying. We know that Rogue runs a Ying on coastline quite a bit. So that's something that obviously has to factor in, saying, yeah, we probably play this too. Yeah, we might have a pretty good Ying player, sure. But at the end of the day, do we want to deal with Ying for 5 rounds and possibly have Rogue use that to stack up a couple rounds against us? Probably not, no.
Solid no.
So let's get rid of that. And it's one of those things where it's, it's a self-inflicted wound, as I said earlier, but it's not a mortal wound. And I think that's the most important part.
Definitely agree with you there. So, kitchen defense as the first site for Nomads. And this is the go-to site for most teams. But we will usually see a start on not kitchen. It does happen where teams will start on kitchen, but for whatever reason, despite most teams loving to play here, as opposed to other sites, they leave it for their second or third, 9 times out of 10. Anyway, Nomads, not one of those teams. The operator selection, sensible, given the choices available. You don't have a Mira, which means what do you need? Well, you need to bring an Echo and a Maestro, because you're going to need to deny the defuse plant just inside of that B doorway. They've also brought the castle in an attempt to deny some of the angles, as well as a Jaeger to catch those grenades. Funny thing, that Jaeger is still the only defensive operator that counters grenades. Technically, Bandit can destroy them mid-air. If they hit they can hit a thing. A Bandit can do it, but Jaeger's the only one who's catching them.
I mean, that's one of the things that I think has been slowly getting addressed by the development of new operators, is that attackers have a lot of versatility. They can bring, Zofia, Buck, and Sledge can do similar roles if you want them to. Zofia obviously exists on a bit of an outside of that spectrum. Jackal with his secondary shotgun can, if in an absolute pinch, come in and do that. But the defense have a lot more unique operators that don't have a lot of overlap.
You figure that that versatility and that power that the attackers can exert on their opponents is the thought process behind Clash, because that would make sense. I mean, someone who can slow down the attack quite literally, and is able to present a little bit of an extra layer for the defenders. I don't know. It's just a thought, an errant thought, and we're back into the match.
I mean, I think, just to follow up on you, I think Clash definitely does bring something, but I mean, she also is another unique operator that without a Clash, you don't have another Clash available for you, right?
Yeah.
The same way that you have that overlap with a Bandit or a Mute for usually just,
Maestro Echo.
Maestro Echo fulfilling that similar role. For a while there, you had Mira and Smoke playing similar roles in their plant denial, even though they do widely different things and are not even close. So it's also the way the teams use it. Anywho, it's a kitchen defense here to start things off on Nomads and what is typically seen as the most defendable site when a Mira is removed from action. And of course, Mira happens to be one of the operator bans. Shuttle is on 1 HP, it looks like.
Yeah, just about 1, maybe 2, possibly 3, but who's counting? And he will die to pretty much anything, as will most of the Rogue lineup. Look at that, Super and Easily both very lit up. Eclipse taking half of his damage and HP. Slash is in the sight right now, and the attempted plant from Easily will be successful. Great job to Rogue just walking in and planting the diffuser despite the Maestro cams and the Echo drones, but they're losing so many bodies right now. It's all up to Slash in the 1 versus 4. He's going to take down Sour. There are defenders on the diffuser right now, sticking it though, and the cover is abundant, so Nomads will take their very first round in this series and in this map. Great job to them holding on to that kitchen, and they will be certainly happy about that. Did they chop down the tree? It might be the case.
Rogue got caught with their pants down in the post plant as they pivoted out of it.
Yeah.
You know, you've got 4 people alive. You go for the plant. You know, you get caught hard as you try to get out of the plant situation. I mean, that's difficult. And Rogue just not as thorough on being able to figure out where the offsite players are, didn't put any pressure really on any players or operators rather inside the site either, and those things are really detrimental when you're going for a plant.
They also not only got caught in that transition, but they lost so much damage before they could even get into the site. Sorry, so much HP. They took so much damage, and because of that, you know, you're gonna die just like that. It's too easy, man. And it was a great job for Nomads, making Rogue feel the pain as they pushed in, and then, you know, really finishing the job as they pushed out. Now, double bar, the next bomb site for the Nomads.
Not exactly usual to see double bar come up next. By the way, team ace for Nomad, worth pointing out there.
Oh, nice.
Excellent job to Nomads for that team ace. But
so it's also always cool to see.
Always nice to see. Everybody really helping get in on the action there. Of course, with their utility, oof.
Oof, what happened?
Rainbow just got shot in the head, but there's a... Lucky that there's a headshot multiplier for the Bailiff, or else that would have been an insta-kill.
Yeah, headshots are not technically... I believe if you go really far away with like a SMG-11 and you put it like behind barricades and stuff like that, I think you can headshot someone and they won't die, but I'm not 100% sure.
Shotguns are just, you can,
I know the
shotguns are, you can shoot if one pellet hits somebody in the head or one bullet hits somebody in the head, you're not going to die from a shotgun, and I think that's exactly what happened, but Rainbow taking a bit of damage there.
I'm also pretty sure that that has changed over time. Like, that actual headshot multiplier has changed a few times. It's hard to tell, though. I mean, the way that it works is ultimately, you're getting the headshot, you're getting the kill. Period. You're going to be good. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Now, double bar defense. Rogue coming in through delivery, otherwise known as service entrance.
I don't even think Shuttle got droned there.
Yeah, he just kind of went for it. Honestly, that's how Rogue's been playing, man. They've just been going. And I think it's probably because it worked so well for them in the first map. And that's what they did. They just went. I mean, even on defense, they were peeking everything. So the expectation now for Rogue, I guess, is just, hey, we can take ground and win fights.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing a very frag-heavy game. Not as much information gathering, not as much intel for them, not relying as much on these calls, just going in, taking fights, and then just a lot of times winning on reflexes alone. And that, like you said, it could be working for Rogue because of the fact that Nomads are not prepared for it.
And I can't fault them. If it's working, it's working. That's just how it is. Slash, great droning right there, allowed him to establish there was somebody playing over by the double bar sandwich, opened up the wall, free kill. And from above, he does take quite a lot of damage, so that's a good job. I believe it was Thomas who was playing upstairs. Super's going to get Rainbow using a Maverick hole. We talked about this earlier. He just established, oh, what a run out from Thomas. He manages to finish the job on Slash, but easily will shut him down. Nomad's trying to keep the momentum, but it's just slipping away from them one body at a time. Great information here being established by Easily. He's going to call out to his team. Yep, there's somebody upstairs. Glitch inside of Sunrise Bar will get Shuttle from behind, and the push from the glass is made to pass the Toxic Babes, and it will miss. Glitch, another excellent kill, but he will finally go down to Easily, who pushes into the site. Great support from the rest of Rogue, and Super gets the final kill onto Sour.
That's more like it for Rogue that we're used to seeing. They just swarmed them, and Super was allowed to exist upstairs just on his own. Maverick, as we said, living up to his namesake, being a Maverick, going on his own, doing as he wants to do, not really relying on anybody else. And we saw 2 kills from Super upstairs because of that. And Maverick is so quiet. That blowtorch, still silent but absolutely deadly, as it can just open up a tiny kill hole, and then he capitalizes on it, being able to finish off anybody on the other side.
Yeah, I was talking about it earlier with Maverick. Is it just, you know, as an operator, he opens up these angles, and you just you cannot account for it because it's just there. Surprise! You can't hear it. How are you supposed to tell? And those reinforced walls in VIP wall to the main hallway, they were supposed to be the cover, the hard rock, the thing that as a player you don't need to think about. Because of that, there wasn't an abundance of information being placed inside of VIP. They could not tell that Maverick was making that push, which allowed for the free kill, essentially, for Super. And we saw something very similar happen, actually, with Slash, as he was moving in from the side entrance near Sunrise Bar. The Maestro completely exposed to the side entrance wall. And it's because he's not accounting for the angle, though that was just an oversight on his part. Wall wasn't even reinforced. Anyway, a great attack round for Rogue. Individual efforts bearing fruit. Nomads, on the other hand, struggling. Yet again, we're back to this.
Attackers recovered the diffuser. Attackers are heading
to
defuse a bomb.
Heading back down to the double bars, was once again kind of weird. As I mentioned last round, usually you want to see Hookah, or I mean, Hookah typically has the least amount of play. But then you'll usually see Penthouse Theater upstairs, which hasn't emerged at all, and that's really a big reason for these mirror bans, is that she makes it so much easier to defend that. Anywho, this glass change that is being tested on the TTS server, by the way, could have a pretty profound impact. For the time being, Glaz can shoot through the castle barricades but cannot destroy them. That was a change that came in a patch or two ago.
Yeah.
It was an unintended consequence of the changes, but I mean, they kept it around because sometimes bugs become features, as is a famous saying in most of the tech world. Now the change is that Glaz can't shoot through them at all. So similar to every other operator, your bullets do absolutely nothing. First kill is going to go onto Rainbow. He is down for the count, and Shuttle, with an abundance of ammo, will take about 40 bullets to shoot out that camera inside of Aquarium as he takes up tons of space.
Sour's feeling a lot of pressure right now from Shuttle, who's pushed up into his proximity. He's going to use that lifeline to disorient the castle, but he's already fallen back. You can see Legion of Thomas, who is going to quickly retreat down the blue stairs, leaving his teammate to his fate. Oh no, Sour goes down. Eclipse with the shot. That was 3 attackers collapsing onto the roamer upstairs, and they just tore him apart. Now,
Slash jumping in through the window inside a kitchen. He'll take some damage from the goo mine, and they're just going to continuously get slowed down. The ceiling above, that's a breaching charge from Easily that will then be used by the rest of his team to try and figure out where that smoke is playing. Maestro, no more, see you later. And now it's just the Legion as well as the smoke. Thomas here under the window, he's going to get smoked out and pop right up, and he's going to eliminate the Glaz, but that's an easy trade-off for Easily. Pardon the pun. Glitch holding a tight angle under the double doors of Sunrise Bar. Above him, the ceiling will get blown, and, well, as he lost his shelter inside of the bar, just to the right of the door earlier, he had nowhere to go. Primed and ready at the door of kitchen is Slash to give Rogue their second round in a row, and Rogue will take the first lead of this second map.
You know, it's really disheartening to see from Nomads right now is that in that round, what we saw was roamers on the top floor, right? And they had the positions well in hand. They had all of this control. It seemed like they were looking, well, you know, like looking good to hold it out. But then what happened is those roamers accomplished absolutely nothing. And the way that Rogue nullified them was simple to, just incredibly simple, and simple to a fault. Rogue was very exposed as they were making that push, as they were trying to take in through billiards, from the hookah balcony, all these different locations. They were very exposed. There was opportunities there for Nomads to get a little aggressive, maybe peek an angle, maybe get a kill. But instead they chose to play it passive as possible, and not passive enough even. You know, trying to do it the 50-50 split where you're kind of connected to the top floor, but you're also kind of falling back. It does not work. You need to commit yourself to one decision. Are you going to fall back right now? Are you going to try and stay and fight? Unfortunately, it just didn't work. It was the wrong call. Nomads half fell back, half stayed up. They lost a player because of it. They didn't waste very much time because of it. From there, Rogue were just in full control. They took that top floor. They used it to pressure the anchors. They came in through kitchen. They had a great hammer anvil strategy and sweep up. Job's done.
I like the hammer and anvil comment to it, because that's definitely what it felt like.
Yeah.
It certainly did seem like that, and that was the same in the second round as well. It was a hammer and anvil as well, with Super being that hammer there, as he was able to just absolutely destroy the two members of Nomads that were playing above, while unbeknownst to them, the rest of their team underneath were getting shellacked.
The crazy thing is, the way that Rogue are executing these hammer anvil strategies is it's so singular in its nature, because it's all the individuals stacking up to do it. You know, right? They're all doing their own thing. They're playing as their own players, and like, look at Super right now. He's droning himself into Sunrise Bar. That is a lack of teamwork right there. That's an opportunity potentially that Nomads could exploit. But Rogue are doing it so well because Nomads are allowing Rogue to do it. They are leaving themselves in the hands of Rogue. And that opportunity is being exploited to the fullest by Rogue. They're just like, hey, yeah, heck yeah, let's go for it. Let's play this as loose as we can, because it's going to make it so much easier for us.
Already Rogue inside the building. Took about a minute to go. Execration having an Echo drone off-site, as once again the kitchen site down below, as Nomads just going to go back and forth between these two sites without being particularly adventurous. Hitting the deck, but the fluorescent glow will be given away, and
it's a backpack.
Eclipse is just trying to light up Thomas. It'll take Slash to jump in, and they'll just absolutely double team him, and then pulling out the PMM, a small magazine, but he just destroys Rainbow as he walks around the corner. So that's two members of the offside play from Nomads, who will just get fed to this Rogue machine, as after a bad start here on Coastline, it's business as usual for Rogue.
Yep. Just seems to be more of the same. What did they do? They cleared out the top floor. What are they doing now? They're setting up a top and horizontal push in tandem. And what do they have? One X Factor coming from the back. This is the same exact attack strategy they used on the double bar, but from different angles. The concept is just, you know, no different. Now, the whole setup here from Rogue is looking good. You can see that Maverick, this is a big thing. Maverick is allowed to play by himself in this hallway, and he is not being killed. He's not being challenged. There is nobody trying to fight him right now. Sour is playing the most passive angle possible to deny Super this push. But Super's not trying to push. He's trying to apply pressure, allowing for Slash and now Super, I guess, to get these kills as they push in through delivery. Sour now the last defender with the diffuser planted, and the round is over.
Nobody else has those reflexes, that poise, that concentration as Mr. 1.6 himself.
Stop.
He asked me to do this before the match, yeah.
Did he actually?
He did. He told me yesterday that he wants me to pump up his finesse, his flexibility, his I believe, poise, concentration, his athleticism. I think he's going for like a Dr. Disrespect kind of thing in his image, fully embracing the villain role that he seems to have almost reluctantly found himself in. But I mean,
I don't think he's reluctantly. I think he's cultivated it. If he's telling you to say these things.
I mean, he told me, he said that he wanted to, his exact words were, mention that I spend 2 minutes of every round on drones, open one panel up, and then plant the diffuser or die, and mention that, please. And I was like, all right. Well, I got you, Seth.
He hasn't been doing any of that throughout this match.
Oh, he's been fragging quite well.
Yeah, he's been solo entering as the Mav, coming from off angles and always doing damage. So props to him for that.
The biggest thing that's been happening over the last couple rounds, and this is something that we pointed out in the very first round, was that Rogue was just kind of sprinting in and trying to fight and not really doing their homework as to where Nomads is. So what changed? Well, Rogue started going on drones. They started communicating with each other, and they started splitting up where the members of their team were. And a big reason why Rogue has seen such success over the last 3 rounds is because of the fact that they're pushing with each other while having somebody else push off-site. And that's usually been Super. They've been pinching so well, and these early picks that we saw from Nomad in round 1, yeah, they haven't really been coming over the last 3 rounds at all because Rogue is knowing where they are and are getting to them first.
The attack strategy from Rogue has been pretty much the same throughout all of these rounds. They've been attacking the bottom floor for 4 rounds now. This is the first time they're going to be attacking the top floor. So on the bottom floor attacks, they clear the top to get rid of the roamers upstairs. Once they've cleared the top, they isolate it, they open up a bunch of holes. But they don't use it too much. Then they transition most of their attack strategy to their frontal assault, and they put 1 player on the flank to distract, disorient, and kill. And it works out great for them. And it does not seem like Nomads is able to deal with it. Anyway, now they're attacking a top floor. Well, this is the first time this has happened. And it's going to be Billiards. Super's going to be moving his way into VIP. Look at the emphasis that was placed on holding VIP. A Valkyrie camera, so they're going to know Mavericks here. They're going to expect holes to be opened. That is huge. That is what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about the Maverick ban that we saw. You ban him because then you don't have to put that Valkyrie cam there. Sour will go down to Eclipse, but again, Super is going to be exposed. So he probably shouldn't get anything done from here. And there you go. He gets eliminated. Great cam placement, great information for Nomads. And that is a huge element of the Rogue attack that has been isolated and then eliminated.
And very close to getting these castle barricades down. I'm not certain if they lack enough of that soft destruction. They do have shuttle available, but I think they're going to try to conserve his impact from the lifeline and possibly using it in other avenues, unless they've already used it on possibly taking out barbed wire or anything of that sort. Second Valkyrie camera will get spotted by Eclipse, and that is out of action. Every single lifeline, for what it's worth, has been used by /2, so any phones that are still ringing would suggest that's just somebody from Nomads who has yet to silence them. You're also going to see that Thomas is playing with this Alda all the way over on Cool Vibe Stairs. That's a smart place to be, as it's very difficult for you to get shot, obviously, around those impenetrable stairs, and then you've got the sight advantage as well if he's running an ACOG on it. There goes Execration, as the second fatality from Nomads will be lined up. Super, the only member of Rogue, down, and there's going to be some full smoke coverage as the plant of Easily tries to go down. No Super, of course, to plant the bomb for his team, so it'll be all up to Easily. A big rotate here from the Zofia as well, heading over towards the luggage side of things, and Eclipse is just daring someone to peek around him. You still see the rotate coming in. Shuttle is possibly in a position to go for a really nice pinch. The smoke of Glitch playing very tight behind that reinforcement. Here comes Shuttle. Still almost completely silent. Glitch is going to reveal himself for just a second. Thomas is down. 2 kills for Thomas, actually, as Slash and Easily are there, but he cannot outduel the other LMG on the board, which will be Shuttle's. Held in his hand the Zofia, who spent about 30 seconds creeping up to the site, will close things out in this first half, and it's 4-1 for Rogue.
Yep, so they lost a single round, but they still look ready to lock this out in a 2-0. As they transition over to the defense, the big thing to keep in mind is now that Nomads do not need to worry about the momentum that Rogue are setting, because that has been a large advantage Rogue has maintained throughout this match so far, is the ability to set the momentum because, or by virtue of attack. That was just the nature of the beast, really. Now they cannot do that. However, as was demonstrated on Consulate, Rogue is keen to pawn. I almost said pawn speak.
I just heard what you said, and I was like, I don't understand what word that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Rogue are poised to pawn speak. And I was like, I'm sorry?
I was so close to pawn speak.
They don't have cameras on us all the time, but I just did like the whatever the
shock face.
What is it? The hamster or whatever? The gremlin, the one that like just turns over
I think it's like a gerbil.
A gerbil or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just looks over in surprise.
Yeah.
Is that like standing here like writing down on my notebook about the previous round, and you're like Pawnspa?
But they do not converse with pawns. So,
like as in ponds, as in like a body
pawn speak?
A body of water?
No, pawn, P-A-W-N.
Like
on chess. Yeah.
Yes.
Like a pawn. Like
yes,
I would like somebody. You have become my pawn. Like that.
No, I got it. Oh, I got it.
Did you get it?
I got it now. So
they don't converse with pawns.
Michael, let's focus on the game.
What game?
This game right here.
Oh, shoot, there's a game.
Nomads on attack right now, and Thomas bringing out the Montaigne. As for Nomads, the rest of their strategies, lots of utility on the board for them. Capitao with his asphyxiating bolts and smokes. You've got the Maverick as well, who can go and off and push on his own should he needs an escort. Interesting to see if Sour's going to be running the LMG as well on Zofia. And then, of course, you've got your hard breacher of Hibana.
Looks like a run out from Eclipse. Did I predict this, or did I predict it? Answer is I predicted it. Rogue are just going to get aggressive on defense the same way they did on Consulate. Fun stuff. Diffuser's down, and there's no Maverick anymore.
And that was pretty damning because you could see that Execration was expecting it. He immediately looked towards the door right as the castle got up close. And it could have been an easy situation, but when you're on those rappel lines, you're so vulnerable.
Yeah, the thing that really blows my mind is that it wasn't just like a prepped an open door. It was the guy. He used what is it, F to break the door as a defender with the crowbar and everything. That makes so much noise, man. If he had just rappelled upside down, ADS and pre-fired, then you don't die then. Well, whatever the case, it was damning indeed, and a very definitive engagement for Eclipse. Either way, nothing's happened since. Nomads seem to be slowing down in response to this aggression, and Rogue seems to be aware that they need to wait, because if you try to push into a team that's expecting you to push them, then you're gonna die. So, yeah. I say that as Glitch eats some fire from below.
So, Glitch returning some fire from above onto easily. Shuttle finds his victim in Rainbow, and Nomads will be left with 2 operators fully functional and then a Montaigne. And of course, we don't want to discredit what Montaignes bring to the team, but when you're trying to consider, you know, warm bodies, a Montaigne usually doesn't factor in because it's very difficult for you to be able to get a kill with it. Sour will eliminate easily. He's made his way inside of Aqua, now heads towards turns towards Luggage, and now heads over towards the stairwell. The Montaigne will fall. As you can see, Shuttle will literally knife trade. They will knife trade each other. Okay, you don't see that every single day. But with the final 30 seconds, Nomads, even though 2 members of their team are very low on HP, this is still a winnable prospect for them. First obstacle is going to be Super playing inside of Office. He's going to miss his shots and get lured out by Glitch and jumped on by the Hibana. You've still got the Zofia with the LMG, so tons of suppressing fire. And, well, would you look at that. Mark's coming out. Slash is here, and they need to get the plant down. But there goes Sour, and there goes Glitch. 2 kills for Rogue, and they'll go to match point. Excellent job from Rogue, and they are 1 round away from a spot at the US Nationals finals.
Yeah, they look like they're going to get it based on the current results of this match. We're not going to be able to find out until we get the game reset. Just a quick jiffy, we'll get that done. But yeah, a little bit of aggression from Rogue early on. It set the mentality in Nomads that Rogue is going to peek everything, and then Nomads slowed down. Rogue didn't peek anything, then they started to peek things again once Nomads started pushing. The time management from Rogue, and not just in terms of delaying their opponents, but engaging their opponents when they're being pushed and when they need to get aggressive, is about as perfect as it can get in this match. Now, it might be because Nomads is somewhat predictable right now. Either way, Rogue have been playing well, and that's the main takeaway from this. Nomads have been struggling a little bit here, and yeah, that's why you have a 5-1, 6-0 situation, and we're looking at a 6-1 unless Nomads can change something in this brief pause.
I mean, they won the 1 round, and that's it. That was at the start of Coastline, and things looked like they were kind of going their way. But then I think it was also capitalization on some mistakes that Rogue made.
True.
Being able to really make the most of a good situation. And then Rogue turned around, and I think they tightened it up quite a bit. And then we saw it fall into place. They started droning better. They started sending off different members of their team to push appropriately rather than just have everybody attack in a very linear direction. And then so far on defense, well, I'm going to be honest with you. That defense was a little bit closer than the score is going to suggest. And even though Rogue did take it on Hookah, well, it was Nomads giving probably their best shot at a round since the first round overall.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're right. Nomads came close that round. But I would point a finger at Rogue and be like, it's because they were playing silly. I mean, easily, he rotated his way into Aquarium, and he played behind the Aquarium bar, and he just died, right? He did not need to be there. He wasn't playing there for most of the round. Most of the round, he was over by the mini bar inside of Billiards. And that was a very powerful position. Had he stayed there, he could have done a lot more work in the round, but instead he decided to take a risk. And many other risks were taken by Rogue in that round. That's just one of them as an example. But my point here is, I feel as though if Rogue were not taking those risks, it would be a complete shutout. That's what I'm seeing from this match. And even when Nomads came close in that round, it just didn't seem like they were going to be able to make it work in that 2 versus 2.
Yeah. And now everything is going to hinge on these next 2 minutes of action. I don't think Eclipse is aware how close he is to Sour. He's easily distracted by this Capitao on Repel, or the Hibana on Repel, rather. And there is Eclipse. He's playing up top where usually that porcelain vase would sit, and Eclipse is able to eliminate Sour. And Super there as well, and everything's going to fall apart. Eclipse now still on a tear, takes out Thomas, and hard to believe it's only 90 seconds in with both Glitch and Rainbow. There you go. This could be an impactless frag for Rainbow, though. His shuttle just looks the wrong way, heading towards the window that's positioned over the main stairs in the main lobby. But he's pinned down now in VIP. And he's got 2 angry members of Rogue not too far off from him. He still has all of his utility available. And yet, you also see that Glitch is still on the exact same spot. Unable to control all the bursts of that recoil, Eclipse will eliminate Rainbow, and it's all up to Glitch in a 1v4 set of circumstances. The playoff spot at LAN is on the line for Rogue, and all they need to do is just ensure that they trade properly. Slash will kill Eclipse. I don't know if that was a failed reset or not.
It was a headshot.
It was a beautiful shot, apparently, and then look at that. Doubling up, hungry for the kill. That'll be a 6-0 and a 6-1 for Rogue, who will walk themselves to the USN Finals in the fall.
Great job to Rogue, doing as I think most of us expected, and a pretty dominant performance. I'm sure that they're upset it was not 2 6-0s.
Yeah, I mean that one round right there is that one round right there is really is not really a proper representation of this matchup. There were a couple rounds where I think Nomads were within striking distance, but tough.
So, Rogue with the victory, and almost 2 rounds for Nomads. But you know, Parker touched on it earlier. From what I know about Nomads, this just didn't seem like them today. We've seen